Hi there, and welcome to Jeddah. I just arrived on a flight from Tunis, and if you're transiting through Jeddah, I have a bit of wisdom to impart on you. If you're flying business class on Saudia and have a long layover, walk as fast as you physically can to get to the lounge. You'll see why in a bit. Saudia has had a facelift since I last flew long haul with them, so it'll be easy to see how successful their service elevation endeavors have been, and whether or not there really are any noticeable changes on board. Before I get to my slumber nook though, let me welcome any of you that might be new to the channel. My name is Kevin. I'm here to give you a self-funded and honest look at some of the best, and some of the not so best, airlines and hotels in the world, which I've been bringing to you full-time for the past 4 years. Check out my hundreds of videos, scan the QR code, or click the link in the description to learn more about how I do things. Let's get into the trip report. Jeddah's Abdulaziz International Airport is one of the easier spots to transit in the Middle East. Some of the walks might be long, but there is just one centralized and modern terminal, which is pretty to look at, but perhaps a bit sparse when it comes to amenities and shopping, if that's your sort of thing. I'm heading to the Fursan Lounge, Saudia's business class lounge, one level above. The lounge has actually become a bit smaller since I was last here. Last time the business and the first class lounges were open towards each other, and since travel was much less in demand back then, staff were, let's say, flexible as to which side you chose to visit. But that is no more, with some actual walls built up between the two. So your speed walk from the flight will perhaps give you a chance to snag one of these slumber rooms as they're called. Imagine you were on a packed flight from New York and just landed with 30 other business class passengers heading towards the lounge. There are only 6 of these rooms, and they're all first come first serve, and they're not regulated, you just come and take it. These are the closest things that you'll find to a bed. I had nearly an 8-hour layover, so I was a very happy traveler indeed to just have some peace. The lounge has a wide variety of food on offer depending on the time of the day, though I've never actually seen them use their pizza oven. Plenty of options, and soft drinks are also available throughout. There are also shower suites available within the restroom, which got the job done, but a shelf in the shower to put your soap on would have been nice. Saudia's transformation over the past couple of years has centered around their new livery, which is actually a modern take on one of their old original liveries first introduced in the 80s. Especially compared to their old plain Jane livery, I love the update and all of the design elements that have come along with it, updating everything from the bedding to the amenity kit to even their website, which I never speak about, but is one of the more visually pleasing ones out there. And visually pleasing, but actually works too. It's not one of those clunky modern sites. If you're enjoying the video and would like to support the channel, there are many ways that you can do so. A quick like on the video and subscribe helps videos with the algorithm. You could join my YouTube channel memberships to get early access to some videos and access to all of my community posts. Or you could check out my Patreon, where I post the most and can help you out with any travel related questions. Whatever you do, thanks for doing it. Our flight today was a bit delayed as our aircraft, a 3-year-old 787-10 inbound from Amsterdam, arrived late. Boarding was a little bit chaotic. Generally for wide-body aircraft, Saudia uses 2 gates which are spread out pretty wide, like you can barely tell that they're part of the same gate. One side is for business and first, and the other gate is for economy. For tonight's flight, we were playing musical gates for 30 minutes, with the gates reversing, then reversing again, and then kind of again, as they ended up only using one jet bridge and one gate. Entering through door 2 left, you'll turn left and pass through a few rows of economy before making your way to the business class cabin, which on this aircraft is spread over 6 rows in a 1-2-1 layout, typical reverse herringbone style. From the first moment on board, the cabin crew were very welcoming and guided each and every passenger to their seat, a small touch lost on most airlines these days. I was the first person to select a seat in the cabin when booking, so of course I chose the bulkhead. There isn't more leg space, but I do think the platform just in front of you to organize your things and such does give a bit of sense of space while you're sitting down. I'm curious to see what they're going to change the colors on board to be in the future when they update their aircraft. I could see a really nice new transition to dark greens and browns, similar to how Korean has also gone to dark mode, it seems. But for now, they remain in line with their old livery and style, decked out in tones of the Saudi desert, with some distinctive pops of color from the new bedding. I went on and on in my last video about how well Saudia maintains their cabins and seats in general, so I won't go into detail today, but you can just see for yourself. Keeping a lightly colored seat looking this clean requires more than just a bit of dusting. The seat has a mixture of open and closed storage. Your aisle side armrest had a bit of closed along with the bin near the window. For open storage, you have the space for literature and your water bottle storage, as well as a small bin near your calf. Legroom is great, and I appreciate that Saudia cut out the hole on the side rather than making this a solid wall restricting legroom. This gives you a solid 3 extra inches in the width of the foot cubby area. The pre-departure service began with a cold towel and a refreshing lime mint drink. I'm a little bit sad to see that the real fabric coasters have gone away though. They were a really nice classy touch in the past. Amenity kits were passed around, and I was lucky to be on the tail end of one of the flights getting this limited edition one, which is absolutely stuffed with stuff. Then they continued on with Arabic coffee and date service. While there are no doors, you can see that privacy from my eye level is pretty good. The safety video began as we pushed back and had a bit of a long taxi to the runway for takeoff. Okay, let's get into some of the amenities on board, starting with the bedding. The pillow will be the same on all business class flights and is a proper sized pillow, supportive and large enough for a decent sleep. The blanket is also one of the better ones out there. Reminds me of the duvet style that Air France and KLM use. Plush, soft, and a good weight. Finally, for now, we have the headphones, which are looking sharp in Saudi green, but these square types of ear cups I've never found to be too comfortable. So far, I would say the onboard experience is better than the last time that I flew a long route like this. Let's get into the first meal service and see if that has improved as well. I acknowledge that flights that leave in the middle of the night, this meal being served around 3:15 in the morning, are difficult to cater for. Not so much for taste, but for the selection and variety and presentation, I'd say that they haven't improved that much on this type of route. You can choose from the Saudia Sufra dining, which is an all-in-one package deal, or you can choose a la carte. I ordered the Saudi meal, which was baked shakshuka, and was clearly a big fail. First of all, if that's a baked egg, then apparently I've been using the oven wrong the entire time. In reality, they were scrambled eggs with tomatoes, onion, and garlic. As a scrambled egg dish, not pretty to look at, but tasty enough. But definitely not shakshuka. When you're saying that your baked shakshuka is, quote, long-established Saudi cuisine served with side dishes in a banquet style, as the way in villages throughout the kingdom, unquote, you're just setting me and yourself up for disappointment. I'm going to carry on talking about the food as we take a look at the onboard entertainment. As you saw from the menu, it's not exactly clear what and how to order. When I originally ordered, I asked for the shakshuka with the coconut and mango bircher from the starters. I was told, very plainly, that since I ordered the Saudi menu, that is what I would get. I could not order anything from a la carte. This is from their menu. Quote, "Dine as you like. Our menu has been designed to provide you the freedom of choice. You may choose to enjoy any meal available on board at any time you wish during the flight," unquote. I'm going in on this just because it happened again later in the flight. My point being, pick a lane. If you want to make a regimented menu, that's fine with me and no one on board cares, I promise. Please make the selections clear and just serve what you print. Anyway, the entertainment on board has a sizable selection of movies available as well as a decent moving map. Keep in mind, the movies are potentially edited to, well, you know. Onto that amenity kit, which is definitely borderline tacky, but in the best of ways. It was like a Saudia Etsy store exploded on my table. I've never seen so many things in an amenity kit before. Just to be clear, the current kits do offer a little bit less. This one was special edition to celebrate the new branding. I literally couldn't fit it all on the table. A passport cover, keychain, phone lanyard, charging cable. It's a bit over the top. Restrooms on board were spotless. I always check this upper edge of the changing table for dust. Even in clean bathrooms, you'll often find some, but not here. This style of seat is one of my favorites for actually getting some sleep. Having the ability to lower the armrest and essentially expand the width of the surface makes a big difference to me when trying to sleep on your side. I do think not having a mattress pad is a miss though. As we crossed over Myanmar, the second meal service began. I'll put meal service in air quotes there. I gently tested my luck and asked if there was a Bircher muesli left from breakfast. The flight attendant checked her notes, asked if I had breakfast. I did. I was denied, based on the fact that I had breakfast, not because there was none available. Okay, so we were picking from the light dining menu. I asked for the Arabic meze and super green salad, and was denied. I was only allowed to pick one. Okay then, here's the meze. The meze was super basic, but fine. It really puzzles me why Saudia struggles with catering this much on these long flights. I would argue that their catering on their regional business class flights is some of the best in the world. Even their economy meals offered more food than my egg dish. It's just weird. I think they should stop with the chefs on board, go back to tray services, and just serve a better product on the long flights. Service on board, aside from the multiple food denials, was okay. Just from my observations, I got the feeling that my flight attendant just wasn't in the best of moods, as the others seemed to be quite a bit more jovial. So I do think Saudia has improved significantly over the years and are going in the correct direction. I wouldn't change their score if my only issue on this flight was the flight attendant. But looking back, the food was just sad and not up to their own standards that they've shown before. So I'm going to bring Saudia down to a 7. Especially for great deals like today's flight, I'd happily fly Saudia again and again. But perhaps they're trying a bit too hard with the onboard services. I just think about Qatar Airways and their dine-on-demand service. Each crew has a tablet, they have real-time inventory. If you don't want to eat now, you can reserve a dish for later. And while surely some dishes will run out, I can't imagine Qatar would ever say, "No, you've had enough food on this flight." So I really do hope that you enjoyed this trip report today. If you did, please be sure to click the like button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on my weekly flight and hotel videos. I'll see you next time from Punta Cana. As always, thanks for watching until the end.